Welcome to a very sunny Campsies in central Scotland in early March. And after what has been the very definition of the Scots word dreek over winter, the clouds have finally broken and we have some sunshine. So I'm at a location that I use regularly that looks towards the Trossachs, and I'll be doing some long lens photography at this point. I'm set up at one of my regular viewpoints. As we start this, I've got my 24-70 f4 lens on the camera, set at 40mm, which is roughly what the human eye sees. So you'll be able to see how I'm seeing this scene. It gives you an idea as to what sort of panorama there is here, so that when I swap the lens for the larger 100 to 400 and start zooming in to pick out certain elements, you'll be able to have some sort of idea as to how far away I'm actually looking at this. I've now changed to the longer lens, the 100 to 400 Sigma lens, and as you can see now, the composition is completely different and I've been able to zoom in. I'm just under 200mm at the minute, and we're looking at 1/400th of a second at f6.3. Because the scene I am photographing is so far away, at least 2 to 3 miles, I prefer to shoot wide open wherever possible, because the depth of field is not really an issue, especially at f6.3. So we've got a little bit of snow on the twin peaks of Ben Stob and Ben Moor. Ben Lomond to the left looks like it's lost most of it. A lot of it's gone over the last few days because of the rain that we've had, but I'm pleased that we've got a little bit left on the higher peaks. Composition wise, I'm using the field in the bottom left hand of the image to anchor this image. And with the light being in a different area to the mountains at the back, I've got layers that are present in the image. This is one of the favourite things I like about this particular viewpoint, because it's so far away, you do get quite a good variation in light and shade. This next image is at 400mm, and we can see the Twin Peaks in relation to the Fintra Hills, which is the foreground that you can see that's rising from left to right, which I'm using with a light at the front to frame the mountains. This next composition, away to the left, is Ben Lomond. And again, we've got some variations in shade and light, highlighting the diagonals quite well. And I'm using the diagonals from the Campsies to help with that composition. The mountains have got low clouds over them, and as you've seen from the wide shot, there's quite a lot of blue sky. I'm going to be able to utilise that light and shade and the diagonals on this to help with the composition. The only thing I will need to do is just remove the 2 wind turbines that are in this viewpoint, but there's nothing else really that I'm going to need to remove from this image. It'll just be a case of some processing to highlight what I want the eye to be drawn to. This is a 400mm image, so I'm close into Ben Lomond and I'm using it to anchor the whole composition. Again, I'm hoping to be able to use the variations in shade and light to make an interesting image. I've just noticed the light that is sweeping down from the flank of Ben Lomond into the mountains below. So I'm just set up my composition to be able, again, hopefully highlight those light and dark transitions. That light is really quite something special there. I'm really pleased that I spotted that. And again, I'm using the foreground at the front as a diagonal to complement what we're going to be looking at in the mountains. This composition is shot at 150mm, and again I'm concentrating on the multitude of light, the dappling of the light and the shading of the light and dark areas to help create contrast. Again, I'm using the field in the bottom centre left as the anchor for this particular composition. This composition again is more about this light and dark shading. I'm looking at the centre of this image is, I believe, Benvenue, which has a little bit of snow on there, but it's in shade a little bit, so you can't see it quite as well as what you can with the twin peaks of Stop Ben and Ben More. But we've got the light. I've reduced the foreground so that the light on the mountains should be what the eye is drawn to with this composition. With this final composition, shot again about 150, we've just got the light being split in two, with the light on the foreground and the light on the mountains and a dark patch in the middle. So I've taken a couple of images again of this, and we'll see how this turns out. So this wee little shoot has turned out to be as good as I hoped it would be. Just enough clouds for me to be able to create light and shadow, which for my style of photography is what I'm looking for ideally. I've taken various images at various stages of the light, and I've decided on these images to go forward for the Image of the Month competition with the British Photographers Alliance. This is the first of 2 images I've decided will go forward for competition. I've removed the wind turbines that were in the original image. I thought about removing the buildings at the centre bottom, but I think I'm going to leave them and we'll see what happens with it. It's the variation in light on the mountains that I particularly like with this one. This is the second image that will be going forward. I decided the simpler composition would work better as an exercise in light and shade, and I quite like the painterly effect that I managed to get with this one, shot at 400mm.
of the two images, I suspect this one will get the higher mark.
I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's given a little insight as to how I work. As I said, I will be putting forward images from a lot of my videos into Image of the Month competitions for independent judging, so that you can see for yourself how my images turn out instead of relying on the back of a camera or a YouTube video, which might look good but doesn't necessarily stand up when viewed on a fully calibrated 27-inch plus computer monitor. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like and think about subscribing to my channel so that you get notifications for when I'm posting the next videos. I'll see you in the next one.